and he do the cars. And one of the things that they ask is, a woman says something like, when he meets a single mother and he asks, well, what's happened with the father? And she will say, well, you know, he was a sorry guy. He was a beta. He wasn't a good provider. Wasn't a good man. And then he would say, well, if he were all of these bad things, why did you have his child? And her face would turn to stone, like, how dare you hold me responsible for my decisions? So that's why I said, good luck with that. Because if a woman fucks up, she will never admit it. I've said this, and that was the pie graph that I had on my other computer, that a woman will wield 99.99997% of the ability to determine anything with a child, yet still present herself as a victim, which is why I don't buy it.
Well, women are, well, in defense of women, in defense of those women, in defense of mothers, particularly ones who make the decision young, they are victims. They're victims of societal programming. The pressure that's put on women to have kids is astronomical. I mean, we can't even get our tubes tied. We say we don't want no kids. We can't. We have to damn near threaten our doctors to tie our tubes and definitely not have a hysterectomy. Society just does not want us to not have kids. So yes, women are victims. They're victims of patriarchy. That's what women are victims of. Because as soon as we get out of the womb, as soon as we can hold a doll, society is giving us baby dolls, and they're showing us, you know, family cartoons and family this and baby that and baby that. So it's so programmed in your mind. By the time you reach teenage years, you believe this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have a kid. Some women, and Vanessa talk about this all the time, some women didn't even know they did not have to have kids. They didn't even know it because society just pushes motherhood down our throats on such a deep level. So yes, women are victims. They're victims of patriarchy. That's what they're victims of.
Let me tell you why I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
Go ahead.
That's tons of BS. The reason I don't buy that is because of my position. And I say my position meaning my thing are real estate, economics, policy analysis, and the financial implications of it. The reason I say that's a bunch of bullshit, and I know we were going to talk at some point about Roe versus Wade. But between Roe versus Wade, okay, thank you so much. Between Roe versus Wade and adoption and safe haven, if women were victims of patriarchy, then why does society make so many ways for women to escape motherhood and give none to men? That's not a
that is question. That is now, Brian. That was not the case way back in the day. That is the situation as of now.
Well,
there's ways to get out of it now, but our great grandmothers did not have an option. They didn't have a choice.
Okay, let me challenge that. Not that I dispute what you just said, but those are circumstances that were not in place for anybody sitting on this panel, were they? Has any woman in this panel lived in a time post-puberty where she could not walk away from parenthood after an unplanned pregnancy?
Absolutely not. And I am the only one on this panel that has a kid. So where are you going with that, Brian? Because I'm the only one with a child. And I, on purposefully had a child. It wasn't no accident. I literally tried to. So I knew what I was doing.
So it wasn't any programming and you're not a victim.
No, not me, but on purpose, I tried to. I can't speak for the other young ladies, but you said on this panel right now, I'm the only one on the panel with a child.
Right. My point is to say, okay, what I'm doing is basically attacking the argument of women are programmed and victimized into becoming mothers. No, you're not. You might be encouraged, but the woman always has the ultimate say. And as my man, I don't know if any of you all are into superheroes and comics, as my man, the late great Stan Lee said with his favorite character of Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. There is no woman that is a mother that didn't have the power to not be one. I'm not talking about in the modern era.
I didn't say she didn't
So
have the power
therefore,
to not, but there is a
okay,
societal, cultural, particularly in the Black community, because the black people want to claim so religious. There's also religious and cultural pressure for women to not give up their kids, to not terminate their pregnancy. Women have to fight through all of this. If deciding to give a baby up for a die, you got your mama, your grandmama, all these people, your church in your ear telling you, "Oh, Keith, no, that's wrong. You better not terminate." And then it's too much. It's too
And
much.
then I don't see the Black men screaming and yelling, saying don't, and trying to create things for it not to happen, because y'all are having sex with them. You fucking them raw. So y'all play a part in this too.
okay. How long of a part? No, I'm gonna go for this. How long of a part?
It doesn't matter. It could be 2 seconds because y'all come quick as hell. So it could be 2 seconds.
Okay.
Even in
So
the coming
man,
in 2 seconds, even in coming in 2 seconds, you can still have on a condom.
So he has 2 seconds to determine the outcome. She has two months, but that's somehow equal. Is that what I'm hearing?
Again, Brian. Say that again, Brian.
So he has 2 seconds to determine the outcome. She has 10 months, but that's what we're calling equal. Is that what I'm hearing?
I didn't say equal. I give responsibility where responsibility is due. So females have to stop as well, but don't act like y'all victims, because you're not a victim. You fucked them. You put your dick in them. So you have a part in this too. She didn't just just automatically have a kid. That's not how it happens. Your sperm goes somewhere.
But in that same vein of thought,
both parties play a part. Why are y'all so upset about them having them, Brian? Why are y'all so upset about them having them?
Oh, I think you totally mistake my meaning. I have no problem.
I know where your stance is, but you're talking based off of the conversation, right, Brian? So I'm just going based off. I already know what your stand is. We've talked about it several times, so I know what your stand is.
Talk about it one more time. If we
okay, it still doesn't. Well, then stop fucking them.
Well,
go get your tubes tied. Go get your tubes tied. Go get your tubes tied.
How come I can't have a divorce?
You can go get your tubes tied too. You can go get your dick fixed too. You can get yours fixed as well. They can go get themselves fixed as well.
I'm still driving.
It comes from both parts. It goes both ways.
Get to walk away from parenthood after conception, and society has not given that right to men. So the difference between a victim and a participant is the victim never had a chance to say no. The man had 2 minutes, the woman has 10 months, but somehow we think that's equal.
Excuses. You came with these same excuses before. It's same excuses.
Okay, well, if we're calling it excuse, what I'm calling it is an analysis of the situation. So yes, the whole point of getting that is...
Brian.
Hold on, let me finish this. Like I said the last time, I was having a panel discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, ask me this. Go ahead, ask.
So if men know this information in the modern age, as you say, in this century that we're in, why in the F would you then have sex with a woman raw, knowing you can't get out of it? Why are men continuously making this decision? If they know there's no way out, why do men continue to do it? I don't get it.
I get that all the way. The standard defense that women will say to a man is, you knew the risk. So if you want to know why, in my opinion, the reason why it's so hard for women to get married and keep these kids is because the risks are all borne by the man. We will say, you knew the risk. You've heard me talk about Parker versus Parker. I'm sure the ladies have. Gentlemen, have you ever heard me talk about Parker versus Parker out of Florida? Or have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. Basic gist. And this is comical to me, and I'll do the Cliff Note version. Essentially, woman cheated on her husband, but the husband didn't know. They got divorced shortly after their child was born. Kid notices the kid doesn't look like either one of them. Gets a DNA test, not his. The court tells him, you should have known your wife could have cheated. And even though we know it's not your child, you still got to pay child support. So my point is to say, if we always tell a man you knew the risk, and don't tell a woman, then don't really be so upset about how come I can't get a high quality man to marry me. For the modern man today, particularly the modern black man, getting married is like sticking your hand in a bag of venomous snakes.
So hyperbolic.
Snakes.
Okay, so
Venomous.
okay,
Venomous snakes. Venomous. Not just poisonous, venomous.
Can I say so? Hold on. All right, hold on, Mr. Offensive. Let me just say something real quick to these ladies. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is pretty much what Mr. Offensive says. Regardless of and this is just the reality, and it's never going to change. It may be matriarchal. It may be, taught, because you had a doll when you were growing up. It may have been society. But the real reality is that black men or men in general will never care. We won't care. We're not going to care about any of that stuff. And it's not going to be something where men start caring or being even more empathetic to single mothers and say, maybe I should give them a shot. They make a good point. It was society. We're not. It's not going to be enough men to care, and that's